Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to Pommyinoz. If you are new around here, please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. We are creeping up in numbers and we're encroaching the 300 mark. So in today's video, we're doing a bit of a change up. We're going to do daily uploads, Monday through Friday. And we're going to do on Tuesdays just some kind of fun list. So today's list, we're going to go through the 18 clubs and a player that you've either delisted or traded that would potentially still be in your 22 now. Starting off with Adelaide, and it's a no-brainer this one. They've lost a few players such as Charlie Cameron and co, but you would say Patrick Dangerfield is a must-need for the Adelaide Crows. They're really struggling at the moment, particularly in the middle of the park, and Dangerfield's class and his ability to hit the scoreboard from the midfield would be a much-needed reinforcement to help Sloan and co, especially bringing their youngsters along the way. He's at Geelong at the moment, and we know he's still cream of the crop in Geelong, still killing it down there. A solid footballer, and one you would imagine the Crows would welcome back with open arms. Next up is Brisbane. Now Brisbane, they've jettisoned a few players in their time as well. And one player we've picked out here is my personal favourite for my beloved Blue Boys, and that is Sam Docherty. When you look at Brisbane's list, it is a wonderful profile. It's got a really good core age group. It's got talent all around the ground. But you would say Sam Docherty's ability to use the ball so cleanly down back, jettison score launches, would be a welcome addition to Brisbane at the moment. He only played 13 games for Brisbane, but he's gone on to strength. And despite two knee problems, he's still one of the top halfbacks in the comp, leading the way in a lot of categories already. He's a superb player and a natural leader down back, and you would say he would be a huge upgrade on Grant Birchall. Carlton, we've lost a few players. Some aren't worth mentioning, but Mitch Robinson, you would say, who's currently playing his trade at Brisbane, would be one player Carlton would love back. He's an absolute phenomenal footballer. His toughness, and it's probably something we lack at the moment. His ability to protect the younger blokes like he does at Brisbane would be really, really important at Carlton Football Club. He's a very good footballer, decent user, knows where the goals are as well, but just his intent to the ball and his willingness to put his body on the line would free up players like Sam Walsh, Howe, etc. and allow them to have a little bit more freedom when the going gets tough. Real reliable footballer, and someone probably all Carlton fans, including myself, would welcome back at the moment with open arms. Collingwood have done quite well with the players they've lost. They genuinely don't lose star talent. But one player, when you look at the holes at the moment, particularly with the injuries they've got, that you would say would be welcome back would be Marley Williams. He was in and out of the side at the start of his career at Collingwood, but did make the 22 for much of the back end of his career there. And he's a solid footballer. He really does perform well for North Melbourne. He uses the ball. His injection off halfback would probably suit how Buckley likes to play now. And he's a really good, reliable user. Decent in the tackle as well. And he's got a little bit of creative flair about him. You could really see him lining up on the halfback flank along with Maynard, along with Cripps and co, and really make a formidable defensive partnership, especially with Jeremy Howe. Essendon. Well, when you look at Essendon, Bell Chambers is getting on a bit. You look at Phillips, he's pinch hitting. They probably would love to have Paddy Ryder. With his ability to be a good key target up forward and also play ruck, he would be a welcome addition. We know that the year just gone, they did try and bring him back. However, Paddy decided not to and went with St Kilda. But you would say Paddy would be a walk-up start at the moment for Essendon Football Club. Very, very good in the air, very tough, good reliable ruck craft as well. He'd give Essendon a lot of options, and you would say he would be a valuable addition should he be able to come back. Fremantle, I think this is a no-brainer. You look at Fremantle, and they've done pretty well without a player of this calibre, but without a doubt, Lachie Neale would be definitely in their 22. If you look at how Neale's progressed as well at Brisbane, he's an absolute ferocious talent. And just to see now Neale in the peak of his powers with Fife would be a dream for the Fremantle faithful. Very good midfielder, probably one of the top three in the competition. Alongside Fife would be put them straight into the 8 category, even though they're going through a mini rebuild as it is. Imagine Neale and Fife lining up with that young talent that's coming through, Sarah and co like that. Would be an absolute dream for Fremantle. It's a shame we didn't really get to see it because a lot of their younger players now are stepping up. Be a phenomenal addition though, should we could wind the clock back and keep him there. GWS. Now it's a weird one, this one, because they've lost a lot of players, but I plumped here with my boy Dylan Shiel. You look at how he's playing at the moment, he's really come across and gone on leaps and bounds. Imagine him being fed the ball along with Coggy, Whitfield, etc. He is an absolute talent and a half, and I think he would still be in the GWS 22. A wonderful footballer, really doing well for Essendon at the moment. He's sharpened up his kicking. He's probably someone that they do miss if they're honest with themselves. But then again, when you've got the midfield talent like GWS, you can afford to lose a few. But a phenomenal footballer in his own right, and one, in my opinion, would still make the 22 week in, week out. Geelong, it's been a tough one, this one, because again, they're another side that doesn't lose talent. Players that maybe could get a mention, Lincoln McCarthy, he's killing it at Brisbane. But the one we've gone with is no other than the big money transfer this year, and that is Tim Kelly. Absolute phenomenal, in my opinion, looking at Geelong this year. Even though Menegola has stepped up, Mitch Duncan's doing wonders as well down there. They do lack Tim Kelly. I know he hasn't quite set the world alight at the moment at the Eagles, but I don't think anyone is. He's a phenomenal player, and I think he would definitely be in that starting 22, and you can see they deeply miss him. It was wonderful to see him link up with Selwood, Dangerfield and co. And for me, he's still definitely in their 22 if he was to be able to retract the decision in this imaginary world. Phenomenal footballer, and although he's not going as I predicted, Brownlow favourite, still one hell of a footballer on his day. Gold Coast. Now Gold Coast, they've lost a lot of talent, and there's so many players we could mention. Prestia, O'Meara, all sorts of wonderful players, Stephen May. But the one we've gone with, just looking at current ability, is they're lacking someone to help Ben King, in my opinion, and Tom Lynch would be a dream. He's setting the world alight at Richmond, he's done it at a poor club, he's done it at a good club, and for me, Tom Lynch is the best forward in the competition, based on he's done it everywhere he's been. He did it in a weak midfield, he's done it in a good midfield, and he's an absolute dynamo when he gets going. Wonderful mark, very mobile as a key forward. If you take the 6 metre shots he keeps missing, he is actually a wonderful kick for goal generally. And I think he'd be a walk-up start. Just imagine with the talent that is on show at Gold Coast now, him playing in the forward line for Gold Coast, you would say that they would be even more formidable than they have been so far. Wonderful player, big loss to the club, and he's killing it at the Tigers. Hawthorn are a team that genuinely trade well and trade out very well. Few players that I was thinking about, you could maybe make an argument for Pitnet based on his 4 games for Carlton, but I would say Buddy Franklin would be a lock. Even with his injuries, I would say that with his injuries he would not have them as much as Hawthorn, as Clarko has an uncanny knack to get even the lamest horse looking like Winks. He's an absolute phenomenal player, and there is no doubt about Buddy's talent even at his ripe old age at the moment of 32. He's a wonderful kick for goal, a firecracker there, and when you think about how he seems to just get every ounce of life out of the older players, he would be wonderful there. Do you reckon he'll come back? There is rumours that he's maybe coming back to Melbourne. I don't know, I don't buy into it myself, but I reckon Franklin would be a lock for the 22. And it would be great to see him back at the old Waverley Park. Melbourne have lost a few players, but I would say Jeremy Howe would be a lock. You look down the back there, they've got Salem, they play down there. They've got old Stephen May now and stuff like that. You'd imagine Jeremy Howe with his ability at intercept marking, his ability at score launching from down the back, really getting the game going, would be an absolute certainty at Melbourne. And someone that you would say would be valuable to Goodwin's side. If you look at the way they like to play, they're looking for that now width. He gives you that as well. He's a line-breaking speed. He's a phenomenal user of the football. And we know, is there anyone better aerially in the competition than old Jezza? He's a phenomenal footballer. And I would say he would be a lock in this Melbourne D side at the moment. North Melbourne, they're another team as well when you go through it historically, haven't really lost much. But you would say that's something that they do like. They do like to play a tough brand with Rhys Shaw. They probably do lack someone who's got the natural ability to tag and also slotting down half back. And I've chosen tough tackling Levi Greenwood. I think he's not getting the game time at Collingwood at the moment, and I think he would be a walk-up star in that North Melbourne side. I think he is something that they lack. They lack that kind of pressure defensive type player. He can play as a tagger, he can play down half back. He's got great versatility. I think he would be a welcome addition to that North Melbourne side. It's a tough one though, because North Melbourne haven't really lost any superstars, but I think he would be a valuable addition for North Melbourne. I think he brings a lot of things to the table that Reece Shaw particularly likes in his players. I think he would offer that reliability down back and also gives you that option just to stop a good player playing. Port Adelaide, we know they're flying at the moment despite their weekend blip, but I would say Jared POLEC would definitely still be in that team. You look at how Port play, I think that added width, his early entries inside 50 do really suit how Port play. And I think he would definitely be the kind of player that he would slot straight back in. Real good footballer, natural width, natural pace, good entries. And he's got that little thing about him. I do like POLEC. I think he's one of these players that we do really underrate. And I think he's a really solid footballer. I think he'd definitely be in the Port side should we be able to reverse history and not let him go to North. Valuable player at North as well. Solid footballer. Richmond are a side as well that don't really lose much. And they lost one of their small forwards this year. But based on this early season form, you'd say Butler would be a lock in that side. We know in 2017 he was revolutionary for them. He was really highly touted. Never kind of got the opportunity after that. And when you look at their forward line, it's easy to see why. They've got some solid footballers in that forward line. You know, your Riolis, you've got your Castagnas who do the same type of job. Based on his form now and how he's playing given game time, you would say that maybe Richmond have missed a trick. He would definitely slot in there. His ability to get goals and put tackle pressure on really suits that dimmer style of football. And I think he'd definitely be back in that 22 should they not have traded him. St Kilda, they've got Dan Butler, but imagine if they'd kept hold of Jamie Cripps. Probably the premier defensive pressure forward would suit how Ratton has got St Kilda playing. He knows where the goals are as well, but his defensive pressure and his ability to lock it inside 50 would be a real welcome addition to St Kilda, and in my opinion would probably catapult them definitely into the top 8. You would sow a line under it. Imagine his ability, his mobility, his tackle numbers are obscene, and he's a very, very, very talented footballer. I think if you could rewind time, I think all St Kilda fans would agree with me. Jamie Cripps would be a player you would love to have back. Sydney Swans, they kind of got rid of Tom Mitchell without seeing much of him, and once he went to Hawthorn he became a ball magnet. You would say in the midfield with Kennedy, Parker, adding Mitchell in there would really gloss over a lot of the cracks that the Swans are showing at the moment. Phenomenal footballer, one of the best users in the competition, certainly the most efficient accumulator of the ball. This guy can get 30 touches just in his sleep. Wonderful player, gets the chains moving, very a la Sam Mitchell in his approach to the game. Phenomenal footballer, good user by foot, very strong with the handball. He's got it all really. He's great spatial awareness, high footy IQ. It would be a lock in that Sydney side. The Eagles, you look at the Eagles and obviously Nick Natan is doing well. You've got Vardy, you've got Hickey who all pinch hit in and around in the ruck and take turns. But you would say Lycett is a big loss to them. You would say Lycett would be a walk-up start. Perfect age profile as well at 27. You would say it would be a valuable co-ruck along with Nick Natan, giving them a lot of options. His ability to slot forward as well for Port really does come in handy. He's a phenomenal footballer in his own right, and I think he's very underrated as a ruckman. He does his ruck craft very well as well. Very mobile as well, both ends of the ground, slots around. I think he would be a welcome addition to the Eagles, and I thought at the time it was a big risk them getting rid of him, and for me he's a very good ruckman. I think he'd definitely be welcome back down at West Coast Eagles. And the Doggies finally, for me, I always thought this was weird when old Jake Stringer did trade to Essendon. He's a phenomenal footballer, real X-factor talent. And Jake Stringer, I think, would definitely be welcome back at the Dogs. I think he's a phenomenal footballer, natural goal kicker, his ability to pinch hit in the midfield. He's kind of an unpopular Jordan De Goey type player. He's solid, and I think he would be a walk-up start at the Doggies. A wonderful footballer, got great awareness, great goal craft, great nous. He's one of them players that even though he's at Essendon, I do like to look out for. I do like to watch him go about his business. He pops up with important goals, and I think, with the service now and how that midfield has developed, Dunkley, you've got Bond, you've got McRae. Imagine him being fed by them guys. An absolute beast of the competition. Big fan of him. That's my list of 18 players. I'd love to hear your guys and girls, your thoughts on it. You tell me who you guys miss from your side and who you'd love to have back. Is there someone I've missed? Is there someone that you think would suit the profile? Maybe there's someone that we've just totally missed who's ploughing up time on the pine at another club. Some great players that have left teams and switched, and some who have gone on to do wonderful things. Please let me know what you think. Have a great week. If I don't see you through the week, see you through the window. Pom out.